Alrighty, we got our rx7 radiator semi-installed. We made the bottom two mounts there, and we've kind of just tacked together an upper mount. Just this guy here, and it's going to bolt up to here. Either we'll use a rev nut, or we'll maybe bolt a nut, or yeah, bolt onto here and then just use a nut. Either way, we want to have something that we don't have to, drill through and kind of through bolt it. But yeah, the bottom mount is just some piece of pipe, and then we put some rubber inside, so it's sitting on the piece of hose. So it's insulated, but it's still got movement. I can still pry it back and get it out and pull it out that way. We chose this radiator for its dimensional size. We used my old one that was in the FD Coyote swap, and it was fine. But yeah, I used that one as mock-up. Mike's using it in his Volvo. It's a very small radiator, and it's actually really cheap, and they seem to be fine. Mike's was actually a 3-core, and mine's actually a 2-core, but I mean, it should be more than enough for this motor, I hope. But we use this one because it fits inside here without having to fit in the OEM spot, which is on here, but then I'd have no room for a cooling fan. So this time we got probably about 5 inches of room. I mean, we can get a 4.6 liter water pump or 5.4 that doesn't have this snout on it, because this 6.8 liter is a clutch fan driven cooling system. I don't really want to run that because the cooling fan would be up to here, because it's a big boy fan for a big boy motor. So we're going to run a couple E-fans. I had when I had this motor in the Capri, I used a Mustang radiator, similar 2-core, a little bit bigger, and I had no overheating issues whatsoever. I even ran a pretty hot thermostat, and it could control it without ease, although a hotter thermostat may be able to work better with the smaller radiator, because I think it'll heat up and then the radiator will cool down, thermostat will open, and it'll kind of regulate it more than just saying being open all the time, I think, but I might be wrong. We got our wiper motor installed. I tried wiring this with a relay. It was a weird thing. So it just triggers on the slow and the fast, 2 relays, and it would work on the motor, just firing the relay. But when I hooked it all up, it wouldn't do the return to center location, which it's at right now, which was really weird, because I wanted to run relays, because I don't really want to run all that power through the switch, as the wiring is probably a 16 or an 18 gauge, and these are usually fused for about 15 amps. And I mean, the wiring coming out of the motor is bigger, but yeah, I looked it up, and the factory EF Civic, or CRX, that stock's out of, doesn't run a relay. The only relay it has is for the intermittent, but I'm not running that. I'm just doing fast, slow, and stop. So now it seems to return back to center. We'll have to see how it is long term. Maybe it's going to burn the switch up. It might not, but we'll have to just see how it is. In worst case, we'll go buy one of those aftermarket-y kind of round universal switches and wire in a relay that way. But as of right now, that's working. Radiator's in. I got sidetracked having to dick around with our landlord's Denali and get that thing going, but that's a whole other story and a half. But yeah, that's where we're at. We'll probably mount this thing in this weekend, and then maybe we can start figuring out hoses, or maybe go to the auto wrecker with the radiator and try to find a twin cooling fan that'll work. The best option would be finding some FD RX7 fans, but FD pricing has just gone bananas, except for their aftermarket radiators, which are still really cheap, because that was $100, and it's a hell of a radiator for $100. But yeah, any comments or suggestions, put them down below, and I'll read them and go off that. But yeah, smell you later.